we return to the Federation after our party has just successfully captured a fugitive wanted for the bounty of 1,500 gold in Dawnscar. Having successfully captured him and interrogating him to some extent, you have begun your several week journey down to Dawnscar by cart, looping to the west and then down south. And it's been about, let's say you've been on the road for 3 days so far, and you're just trucking along as one does with your captive in your cart and so on and so forth. And scene. Action.
All right, guys. So, bed, wet, or behead.
What does that mean?
It's fuck, marry, kill.
What do you mean by bed?
It's like sleeping in the same bed as someone.
That sounds uncomfortable.
If it's a big enough bed.
You're not suggesting what I think you are, but are you?
I don't know. I can't read your mind. Anyways, it's a great game. Bed, wet, or behead. So your options are...
Jog pipes up. I used to play this with my brother. Let's do it.
All right.
Jog, please, no.
The options are... Splint's gonna kind of think because I can only remember the name of 2 NPCs.
Feel free to ask for DM help.
Yeah, can you name like 3 NPCs that we have that aren't like with us right now?
Lillian, who you met the first time. Ryfern, also the centaur you met the first time. And I could mention one, but only Sierra would care about it.
There's the bartender.
Oh yeah.
Let's all discuss what we're doing with Ciara's girlfriend.
Lillian, Ryfern, and Fenorin. Those are your options.
Fenorin. All right. I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, because she said just go with it, so I'm going with it.
Yeah, I have to eat. You guys get to dig around for 20 minutes.
All right. Bed, wet, or behead. Lillian, Ryfern, or Fenorian?
I don't think I want to bet any of those.
Can I
Really?
behead
Not
all of
even
them?
the hot monk lady?
Wait, if I behead them, do I get to set them on fire?
If you want, as long as you behead them.
Do I get money? Why am I beheading them?
It's just if you had to do all 3 of these, one to one of...
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I understand. What do you say, Grygon?
Yeah, Grygon, what do you say?
I don't think I want to be a part of this conversation.
Alright, well. Wed Lillian. Bed Ryfern, and behead Fenorian. Actually, no, Lillian seems kind of stuck up. Alright, so, behead Lillian, and wed Fenorian. But bed Ryfern. He was hot. I'm sorry. Guys, I don't know what to do. She just set us loose.
Teach Fenori.
We could discuss on how we're not going to go to Maranthamir.
Well, we
Because
kind
it
of have
seems really
to.
cold there.
It's cold
yeah.
there. Split is immediately like, what? Because she has been in the middle of the continent. She's never been anyplace really cold.
Yeah, it's so unpleasant. You get this tingling feeling in your feet, and then you can't feel them anymore, and it's just awful. The cold is bad. We shouldn't go there.
Well, we kind of have to, don't we? That's where Corso saw the thing, felt the thing.
Well,
Alright.
Corso's a criminal. Why should we believe him?
Jog pops in and says, I, for one, think it's probably worth following up on something as weird sounding as this. The Fate Weaver says so. The Fate Weaver goes where the fate determines, and we should follow it to its rightful conclusion. I say we go to Maranthamir.
He's surprisingly more articulate and well as has will to do things than usual. Usually he just wants to dick around. But alright, Aris, didn't you hear Corso's side of the story?
I was taking a nap.
He got hit pretty bad, remember? I kind of glare at Corso.
Corso just kind of sees you glaring and just like immediately averts his gaze and just stares at the base of the cart.
Well,
So you're saying that something doesn't line up and that we need to go to Maranthamir to figure out what's wrong?
yeah, basically.
But it's really cold.
Yeah.
Don't you guys, like, not want to be cold?
Well-
Sometimes when you have to do the right thing, you gotta do stuff you don't want to do.
Jog says, I was born and raised in the north. It's not that bad.
You see, Aris, as soon as we finished whatever's up there, we can leave immediately. All right?
So you're saying it won't take long, right?
I promise.
I'll think about it.
Well, you see, I think that what we'll find up there could be quite interesting. I mean, this could be what I've been looking for this whole time.
What have you been looking for?
Well, I assume all of you know about the message from the gods that something's coming, right?
The what?
You have mentioned that a few times.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Uh,
The gods are real?
don't you know where Jog and Branch get their power from?
I don't know. I have some cool stuff I can do because of my ancestors. I figured their ancestors were just doing stuff.
Well, you see, I mean, well, don't you know what the founts are about? Like, the founts are when mortals ascended to godhood.
I figured everyone just was able to do magic when they were born.
I just kind of stare at like him, like what? The thoughts are like, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't. That's odd. But what about just where your spirit goes to the stars when you die? For the
Maybe
hunt?
only centaur spirits go to the stars.
Jog speaks up once again and says, no matter where they're from, all of them eventually end up in the same place, but it's such a vast open world and universe out there that it's all connected in little ways. So what you call your ancestors might be some kind of spirit, but the gods are their own thing, of course. I mean, look at me and Branch. We've got our powers from them. That's what we've had all our lives.
I kind of stare. Splint looks kind of weirded out, but she's like slowly nodding, like okay.
Yeah, I don't think my ancestors did anything cool.
Jog looks at Splint and is like, well, what did you think that whole thing we were doing with Lillian was? When we went to Sonaros. That was one of the founts. That was a god.
That had to do with a god?
Yeah.
Splint wasn't paying attention.
He just kind of face palms.
I've just been having fun wandering around with you guys.
Oh, that's sweet.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of sweet, but yeah, basically, yeah, the gods exist and everything. I don't know how you haven't known that. I mean, it's well, whatever. Yeah, they exist. That's what Grygon's trying to talk to us about.
What are they for?
Roll a history check, everyone. I guess. Who's proficient in history?
Everyone.
Is it anybody?
Wait, are you talking religion?
Oh, that was
No,
supposed to be
history.
an advantage. Sorry.
Okay.
You are so close.
That was a 5.
Yep. Suddenly, oh dear. I'm just gonna have Jog explain this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Fine, he's not here.
Off to a great start.
Jog's the one who knows all about this shit. He just kind of looks at you guys as a bit of shock. You know, you all heard about, way back when, before the Federation was even a thing, right?
No.
Oh, good God.
Apparently not.
Splint is looking really confused. Now, what's the Federation again?
It's where we live. Right here.
It is?
You know, the Wildemores and up in... You really didn't know that?
No.
Wow, we're all dumb.
You really weren't from way down here, weren't you? I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, because it's center of Earth, but that's really weird. I mean, no offense or anything. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, okay, hang on. Let the DM find the timeline of this place.
Branch was probably too distracted in Paladin school to pay much attention to the history classes.
Horace definitely fell asleep while taking this lesson.
Split has literally never heard this before.
Well, God, I was the only person who paid attention to school. Well, way back when, long before us, like, I don't know, 1,000 years ago or something, I didn't pay that much attention. There weren't any gods, really, but there were dragons and giants and all that kind of thing, and yada yada. But everything started kind of falling apart, like, huge tide storms on the coast, and all these kinds of calamities and whatnot, and all kinds of bad stuff, basically. But then there were these things, these big sources of really, really old magic just kind of sitting around all over the place. And it started all when one guy from whatever the place is called out in the ocean, some guy went,
Not Sunaros, but somewhere else.
He kind of pauses things. Nah, further over there. There's this big island thing. They didn't know Sunaros existed back then, but that's where he went. This guy went out into this big maelstrom to try and figure out what was going on with these storms destroying everything he loved in the place where he lived. And then he found the Fount of Change, and he merged with it, and he became the first of the 9 gods, the Storm Wielder. And then one by one, all the others slowly figured it out, and they merged with the Founts, and they became, the Wild Mother. And he points at Branch, and then the Fate Weaver, and stuff like that. The gods of death and life, and creation, and all that.
So what do the gods do?
They just became gods? Could we do that?
I don't know, but when they
I think my dad says suggesting that's blasphemy.
What's blasphemy?
I don't know, but he said it's pretty bad, and you shouldn't really do it around religious people.
Oh, okay. Is anyone here religious?
I'm religious. But...
I think John and Branch facepalm simultaneously, just like.
God,
I had a friend who was religious once.
What happened to him?
Oh, she and I, we parted ways.
Well, see, you must have met people who were like me and Branch before, but basically the world was kind of falling apart back then, so he's starting to go southern. Oh God, here's the preacher, here he comes. Well, the world was falling apart, and then the gods came, and they brought balance, and they actually keep holding it all together. If they were gone, it would just all start falling apart again, or something like that.
So the gods are glue.
That's the way to phrase it.
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
Where do my ancestors figure into this?
I don't know. Your ancestors.
They're supposed to be hunting in the stars, looking out for us.
He looks at a loss for words.
They follow the herd and...
Well, I don't know what that has to do with the gods being glue, but if your ancestors are doing that, then I'm sure they'll still be doing that.
That's good.
I mean, gods just keep, fundamental parts of the world functioning. They don't really... I mean, I guess if your ancestors are out doing their own thing just alongside the gods, I don't think that would affect much.
Alright, that's okay. I can handle that then. Because, the ancestors, they're supposed to be with you and...
I don't really understand why people want to be gods if they're just going to be stuck between things.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know either. I don't usually try to ask about that, and I don't think most people do. But that's just how it's been since, before the Federation existed, so it's been that way for a while.
Huh.
Nowadays, when people walk into founts, they just kind of die, like the hag did.